Welcome to this edition of the Men's Room Show. I am pleased and privileged to have Bogdan Cristian Neag with us today. He is the founder of Subconscious Breathwork Method, and he's been on our show before. But what I'm most excited about today is the demonstration where we're going to bring everything that we discussed today all together. And before we can do that, we want to know who you are. And so, can you take us down the path of where you knew that you needed to take a change in direction in your life and how you took that change in direction and apply it to the work that you do today?
Thank you very much. My name, yes, is Bogdan Cristian Neag, and I am originally from Romania, but for 12 years I live in Germany. When I'm married with Cristina for 6 years, but I we are together for 12 years, or almost 12 years now. And when she was 21, she developed some ganglions on her left breast. The doctors told her that those ganglions has to be removed, so she had proceeded with the surgery. Everything was fine until she was 25, and at 25, those ganglions came back into her both breasts this time. And when we were to the doctor, they said they have to remove both breasts and also take out the ovaries and everything that makes a woman feel like a woman. So it was kind of a tough moment in our lives because to face this kind of uh, mm, diagnostic from your doctor is not so nice. And we said that we cannot accept this for the moment because we want to search as well something else, an alternative medicine solution. And since that moment, we started to learn more about healing, what we can do, and this way we came up. We found out about recall healing. This is a technique made by Gilbert Renault. We can put the link in the description afterwards about this technique and method. And at this course, Cristina met Olivia. Uh, she started to work with Olivia, and after 3 months, the ganglion started to go bigger, to go smaller. Yeah, and after 6 months, she was completely healed. When the doctors saw this, they were amazed. Wow, what have you done? Because this is impossible. It's a miracle. It cannot be done just through chemotherapy and through removing the both breasts. So they was kind of amazed.
That's
But we
amazing.
knew that we were glad that we have found and met with Olivia because the work behind this is to go back into your childhood because there is something that happened and comes in cycles. And sometimes when something happens to you, it's like a wake up call. You have to go to see what happened. So you heal that moment from time. And this way you can reframe your future, make a new timeline into your future. So I didn't choose healing because we were chosen to do this because we had to go through so much learnings and to find out about it. And when we found out that she can heal herself, then she started to work with other women and help them as well to heal. And through this awakening or calling from this side, I found out that I really like this method and these kind of fields and learning about spirituality and healing. And this way we could develop what I am and she's also doing today.
That's a beautiful story there, and just a testimony to that you are called to do this work through your own life, your own relationship, and that by defeating the odds that normal, practical, everyday medicine normally takes care of, the two worlds could really partner, and yes, the medicine was important, but the belief and the hope and the method that you're going to talk to us about today is what brought it all together. And so I think our audience would love to know what is subconscious healing and what makes it unique. And they want to know, how does it work? Because the what you described, we've got to get a little bit deeper to really truly understand the benefit of doing this healing work and the types of tools that someone going through this journey with you could experience.
Okay, to make it even simpler, I will use an analogy because we all have smartphones, and on our smartphones, there are some pre-installed apps.
Mhm.
And when we think about our subconscious mind, we have also pre-installed apps into our subconscious mind to be able to survive, to make the heart beat all the time, to breathe. So we don't have to think about those programs. And after we are born, from the moment we are born until 7, we are more in a theta state in a state of mind. And this way, our mind is very programmable by our parents, siblings, or the environment, those who are around us. So until 7, we install, but without wanting to install those programs because they are being installed by our environment. And those apps or subconscious programs, as with the analogy, most of the time doesn't suit us because, for example, if you have a mother who has a child, there are two mothers with two children, and there is a snake in front of them. If one mother uh, tells to the child, "Wow, what a snake!" and she also goes there and she puts the hand on the snake because she has no fear over snakes, then the child will also go and be more open to the snakes. But if one mom sees a snake, wow, snake, go back. No, no, you're not allowed to touch it because it's dangerous. It can bite you. You know, all the mom stuff. So next time when those children, for example, tomorrow they will be just alone and they will see again the snake, the first time will be open and approach the snake, and the other one will run away or be scared because that reaction from the mom had installed a program into their minds that something is safe or unsafe. And this is also with like everything we do in our life. Everything is related to something that we have learned from our childhood. So to be able to change the mind and the programs that we have to go back into our childhood and see when was the first time that program, that limiting belief, that those things that limit us was first installed. And when you go there and you understand that it was from your mother, from your grandpa, from your sibling, through tapping, you can release those emotions, understand that it wasn't yours, and then to put a new belief into the mind, and also to do some meditations or breath works using this so to implant that new belief subconscious program into the mind because the neurons are so strong connected that if we broke them we also have to put something else because otherwise it will connect again because it was so many years active, so it takes a while to be really taken apart. What kind of tools there are? Yeah, hypnosis is very powerful to be able to go into the subconscious mind and see what kind of patterns or subconscious programs there are. Breath work, then also meditation, a really deep one using the breath, because the breath help us to go into a deep state of mind where the conscious mind is a little bit asleep or inactive. So then we can really tap into the subconscious mind and into the subconscious programs. So these tools are the most effective to be able to rewrite those programs that doesn't suit us or doesn't serve us to the direction we want to go.
So really, it's a suite of tools that you're using as you go down the progression to take those old patterns of programming. And thank you very much for that example because I could visualize the apps as a system on a device. Well, the human apps are those memories, experiences that play out. And you're right, being able to take some of those programs and to rewrite them, it's going to take quite a bit of getting to the root of the, I guess, the issues or causes to be able to truly understand what is causing these different things. And so if somebody has a medical condition like you had opened with, then the cause behind that. Tell me a little bit more about kind of as you apply the method, where that fits in, because we don't get to choose when we have an illness. It happens to us, but is there something that would make us more susceptible, I guess, or maybe not so much as susceptible, but what could actually be something present that will take us through it to experience the um, the real I guess the direction that you need to take when you don't really know what the outcome is.
Okay, so I will give the example of Cristina because it's very relevant for understanding the subconscious healing and how the programming works. When she was 1 year and 7 months old, her mother died of breast cancer, and she always thought in her mind that she will always die at 35, the age that she mother died. And she also had the belief in her mind that she had killed her mother. So working with Olivia make her understand that we don't have to repeat our parents' trait or what they had, because our life is our own life and their life is their own life. So it's not, there is some genes involved, but not on that scale that everyone has to repeat what their parents had. And also she made her understand that it wasn't her fault because her mother died, because she had cancer, so she didn't stab or something to kill her. So just this was everything in Christina's mind. And when she understood those things and she had released all the emotions that were there, then the healing started to happen, because then she started to have really big pains into her breasts, because the body started to eat those ganglions, those tumors. And she was confident that it was good, that it was a healing process, so she didn't thought, oh, they are growing bigger or something like that. So she have played with her own thoughts because she knew that it's on a good trait. And as I said, after 6 months, when the doctor made the scan, they see that there was anything there on that moment. And since that, she's 32 now and she's healthy. She doesn't have any, she has to go and make a scan every 6 months or 1 year, because if you had something like this, you have to go every time to the doctor. But she now knows in her head that this will never happen to her because she had healed those moments, those traumas, and now she can embrace what the future will bring.
That's wonderful that she was able to work with a practitioner to remove that belief that she had somehow done something to her mother, and she removed the belief that she was actually not going to live to be, an older age, that it was going to be this younger age. And just knowing that moving through something like this, that being proactive and going to the doctor to evaluate and just review that everything is all good, and just having that belief that everything is going to be just fine, and that she has rewritten the script. So uh, what she's done is not only rewrite that script, but she's empowered herself to move through in a whole different direction and really create the life that is hers. and not think that she was taking that program and needing to bring it forward subconsciously.
Yes.
So, what I'm hearing, like, we're talking about the system and the method that you use to be able to move through something like this. I want to take us back to, what it means to invest in yourself, right? Because this story is also a testimony to investing in yourself so that you can take a situation that's not ideal, that may be unpleasant, and be able to change the trajectory. Because this took like willingness to open up to speak to a practitioner. It took doing, imagine, some work behind the scenes to do some exercises and maybe put some education into play, and using the exercises to integrate the learnings and doing all those things. And a lot of people think that doing that type of work is something that's nice to have. And I believe that you advocate for it's a necessity to have.
Yes, because here I also want to use an analogy. If you have a small child and if you want him to learn how to swim or to play tennis, what we naturally do, we take our child to someone who do this as his business. He is a tennis trainer or a swimming trainer. So we take our children to someone who does this as a profession, so that person knows the best tricks and tips to be able to learn as faster and as better. This is also the same in the coaching industry. Now it's booming and everyone is a coach and is a lot of miscommunication and what we know about coaching. But I think it is very important because I also have invested after Cristina started to work with Olive, I also started to work with her to go back also into my childhood, into my past, into who I was, and to be able to heal those parts of mine that I didn't want it to speak about because were too shady or there was too many emotions. Because we also have a lot of traumas or happenings, memories that we would like to forget. But those are the most important one to be healed. Because if you, for example, you were raped when you were 6 years old and you didn't tell anyone, so you also always have that in mind that you don't want to tell anyone, you don't want to speak about it, that you don't want that memory to come back or to erase it from the mind. But if you go back there and if you understand, yeah, this is what happened to you, you couldn't do anything at that moment of time, but now you are grown enough so you can process those emotions that were there, give back the roles that that aggressor had into your life, and learn the lesson and let that memory be free and all those emotions to go out from the body. Because if we experience a very emotional moment, then the mind cannot process all the emotions. So then it stores all the emotions into the body. And after a while, the body is so heavy because it has so many trapped emotions inside that we cannot move. So through subconscious healing, we take a lot of the bags out of the bag, and this way you can move way more faster into the future because otherwise you will always crawl. You want something, you work hard to get that thing, but it kind of something is not going as you would like. But if you heal your past, then you could go into the future way more conscious and full of love. And because as well when you heal that trauma, when you think back again to it, you don't is well, go away, because now you have understood it, you have spoke with someone about it, you have released the emotion, you have bring love to yourself, as well love to that person that was an aggressor, because these are the people sometimes, it's not that he wanted to do it this way or to that person, but it's like that person who is traumatized had to learn something from that experience. And when you bring all this together, then when you think back about that rape, it doesn't bother you so much because you now understand it. You know what happened. You release everything, and you have brought again light into your body, so it's again free to move into the direction you want.
So you've made a perfect case for why this is a necessity. And it's because if we don't take care of things that happened in our past and how and what importance we tied to them, then it's going to follow us in everything that we do until we do that. And the danger of not working on yourself and facing those uh, traumas, issues, fears is that it's going to remain trapped in your physical body. And so knowing that it would stay trapped in your physical body, that prevents you from being able to live and perform and be your best self when that's going along with you. And so whether somebody is working with a trauma or an illness or genetics, because that's what we started with, or whether they are wanting to remove limiting beliefs so they can progress in an area of life that they would like to explore, then that's when things powerfully shift and happen. And I can think of a few limiting beliefs that I personally have and how they have impacted the way that I move through life. And when I chose to face them and to rewrite the script, things powerfully began to change. And my thought was, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? And so, well, one of the things that I realized that there's a lot of carrying the load of everything in relationships and work and all of that and always having to be the performing person that kept it all together. And I realized I didn't have to be that person because that was my identity. I have it on paper that says when Linda shows up, she gets it done. When Linda's in the room, we know that there isn't going to be this sitting around twiddling our thumbs. It's gonna, she's gonna move things because she doesn't just show up just to be a presence in the room. She shows up to get things done. And so I've tied myself to that. And so then I realized I don't have to carry everything. There's other people to do it. And I can enjoy just doing things for the sake of doing them to experience the joy from them. So I've taken up yoga, which I thought, well, this is just perfect. I've taken up bar, and my newest addition uh, is that I'm going to be learning bass guitar because I thought that I would like to just have
Nice, nice.
expression. So I went from performing to I'm going to express. I'm going to have joy, and it doesn't have to be something that has a an outcome or a financial reward for doing the work. And so that is just like shifted everything. So it's not that I'm not going to be doing anything that's performance based and have goals and maybe whether or not something has money that flows to it. If I'm in joy and I'm in balance and being, then the rest of it's all going to shape how I do the other things. And so when you work on yourself, you can't but not move forward. If anything, if you don't choose to work on yourself, you're just going to stay where you are. And it doesn't mean you have to have this big grandiose like plan of all these things you have to accomplish. Working on yourself just means if there's an area that you could do a little better that would improve your life, that you would work on it.
Yes, yes, working ourselves, it's very important because this way we can grow and we can become better. And we go up or we go down. So when we invest in ourselves and learn and keep up the learning curve, then we will go up. Otherwise, we think that we stay the same, but we kind of go downwards. So that's why. it's also important to balance, to work on yourself, develop, to also take some rest, to be able to let the information settle down into the body, and then to go like in the seasons, in the winter, the spring, the summer, the autumn, to be able to recognize what kind of says in what season we are currently alive right now in our life, and to act accordingly to what we will do in that season when we had to plant something or to take the crops out of the field. So yes, investing it in ourselves is one of the best investments there is because it's something that is for our future.
Absolutely. So, because we're talking about investments in ourselves, we're talking about the subconscious method. What do you think about you and I going through what it would be like to have that experience?
Yes, yes, I would like to invite you and the ones who are watching us right now to go into to make a practice about the subconscious breathwork method. Uh, so we will take 10 deep breaths in the beginning, and afterwards, at the 10th breath, we will inhale fully, then we will exhale, and we will stay in that moment for as long as we can. And then from there, I will guide you to a visualization where we will connect with our heart, and then we will bring love, harmony, and peace into our heart, into our body. And this way, this is a practice that you can do wherever you have a, your stress or you have a tension in your body, because love is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. So connecting with love, it's always something nice to do. Then I will shut the sound. Okay, I will put the music. So we will inhale 10 times through the nose and exhale on the mouth. As an example, we do a little longer with B. And at the last one, the 10th one, I will give the cue. Inhale fully, exhale, and then you will stay in that moment for as long as you can. And when you feel that urge to breathe again, inhale deeply and inhale and exhale just through the nose afterwards and just relax the body. Right now, you can find a comfortable position where your body is relaxed, and then we will start our breathwork method. So 3, 2, 1. Inhale fully and exhale. Again, breathe again. Exhale slowly. Let all tension go out from the body. Again, inhale. Inhale and exhale. And 3 more. Fully in. Exhale slowly. Again, fully in. Exhale. And the last one, breathe as much as you can. And on the exhale, you can close your eyes and hold your breath for as long as you can. Now I want you to connect with your body, with your head, with your hands, with your chest, with your belly, hips, legs, and your feet. Now I want you to feel your whole body in this moment. I want you to imagine that from your feet, roots are going down into the earth. They go down, down, down into the center of the earth. There's a big purple crystal. I want you to imagine that your roots are wrapping around this purple crystal. And the energy from this crystal is being drawn up through the roots into your feet, into your legs, into your body. I want you to feel that energy how it enters into your body through your feet. Now I want you to imagine that a beam of life is shot up from the crown of your head into the center of the galaxy, where is the big center sun. And then from the big center sun, a beam of light goes down into your crown, into your body, and then goes directly into the center of the earth. As you inhale, you go into the center sun, and as you exhale, you go into the center of our earth, into that purple crystal. And as you inhale, you feel those two energies, how they enter and exit your body. I want you to bring those two energies into your heart, where is our body center. I want you to see them as they dance or play like dolphins in water. They are two different energies, so they don't merge. They just play and move around. Now I want you to put your hand on your heart, your right hand, and I want you to recall a memory where you felt love. Maybe it was the love for your children, maybe you had a dog or a cat, or you had something that you really love. For example, I like when my son wakes up and he looks at me with an unconditional love. He looks into my eyes, and this makes my heart melt. So bring that moment into your heart and let it unwind. See, hear, and feel as it is happening right now. Let this emotion infuse your body. It feels so great to feel love into our heart, because love is one of the highest frequencies of this universe. So it heals our body and brings peace and harmony. Now you see a tunnel of light, and at the tunnel of this light there is a door. I want you to see yourself going through this tunnel, and you reach that door. In 3, 2, 1, we will open that door, and at the other side there is you in 1 year from now. I want you to see yourself. What will you do 1 year from now? If everything that you have planned or you wish is going as you would like. So in 3, 2, 1, you open the door, and then you step into 1 year from now. I want you to see what are you doing, with who are you with, what are you working, how is your body, how do you feel into your body, how are your relationship with your family, with your friends, with those around you. How are your finances? How is your work impacting other people? And through this, you bring a lot of rewards and money into your life. And now I want to bring all those moments into a frame and to see this future you that is going to be in 1 year from now. I want to infuse that love into this future and send love vibrations. Now I want you to go to that future you and look into his or her eyes. I want you to show that future you how proud you are of doing all those things and feeling what he's feeling and what he's doing. I want you to take him or her into your arms and give it a big, big, big hug. And feel how your love from your heart is going into that future you have. And feel how good it is to be able to take yourself into your arms as you would take someone you have missed or you have never seen it from a very long time. Now see how that person, that future you, kind of merge with you and you become one with it. Now I want you to go back to the door, go back to the tunnel, and come back to here now. And with one final deep breath, we can come in here now. You can move your fingers, your head, and when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. So it was a pleasure to lead you to this powerful exercise. And
It,
if you would like to say something and to share the fifth.
so I guess that opens the door. We got to come back a year from now and see how this all plays out. Mhm. I
Yes,
appreciate you taking me through that experience with the breath work, the visualization for the new chapter that I'm entering, and what it can be. And so, thank you for planting those seeds that are within me already, and for bringing them forward. And yes, that was the experience. Moved me. And I imagine that that was the intention, and that everyone that you work with can experience with intentionality, moving into that place and space that's waiting for us.
yes, yes. The intention is very important when we do a visualization or meditation because that is like the goal that we want to reach and what we want to accomplish through that practice.
And so I guess where I want to like share with our audience is that they too can have the experience that you and I had. And so is the best place for someone to get a hold of you to be able to have a discussion about what it would be like?
So on my LinkedIn account, that is my main page. And I also have a YouTube account where I put visualization, meditation, and breathworks. And yeah, these two are the main ones for the moment, and in the future will come more.
Thank you. And so this concludes this edition of the Men's Room. If you would like to become a guest or know of someone that should become a guest to share with our audience, we'd love to hear from you. And as we spoke earlier, we will share all of the resources and how to find um, the different things that we talked about today. We talked about dropping those links in there. And so we will see you again next time. So thank you for joining the men's room.
Thank you, Azar.